and you keep talking to producers acting like those are your friends, girl, mind you, they got the camera behind their back recording you from this angle. That's how you know she didn't realize she was being recorded, because why the camera all the way down here? Why are we getting the angle from up your nose? I know she felt so betrayed and disrespected when she saw that. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, y'all, this might be a shock to y'all, but if y'all want to see me cut all my hair off my head, the link will be in the description box. We here to talk about Married at First Sight. I'm so sorry this review is late, but I'm telling y'all, Alyssa wore me out last week. I couldn't even take it, okay? I was literally on the verge of giving up reviewing this show. It's not just Alyssa, it's just the fact that she was casted. It's just the fact that I feel like I'm watching someone be humiliated on TV every week, and it's like bringing back old feelings of how I felt with Chris and Paige. And then on top of that, we have like the different people and different couples arguing. Not only have these people just met their partners, but they just met these individual couples, and I just feel like y'all even having them interact this much is causing too much confrontation, when this is not what we're here for. We're here to see these people as couples, not arguing with each other, you know, between people that really, y'all don't have to have any association with each other outside of this process. Like, once this show wraps, y'all really don't have to talk to each other after that. You know what I'm saying? So to really have drama centered around that is annoying, but I'm not necessarily blaming the contestants for it. But I told y'all I was gonna do these reviews, so I'm here and I'm reviewing, okay? But I'm not happy about what I'm seeing, so I guess I'm just gonna have to read them at the beginning of every review. Let's move on to Noi and Steve, because I am enjoying watching them enjoy their honeymoon. They've managed to sidestep any sort of drama with the other couples, and they are enjoying one another. They have not consummated their marriage just yet, but they do have a connection that is very clear. They're getting to know each other. He's talking about how he likes to be adventurous and he likes to camp out at the beach. You know, I feel like that's one of his vagabond tendencies. But no, like, he's just like expressing to her things that he likes to do, and she's like not necessarily on that tip, but I feel like she's willing to explore those things for him because she's attracted to him. And they start talking about, when do you poop in front of your partner? And y'all, I want to get married, but I'm just like concerned about like when, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want you to see me poop. I don't want to fart. I know I'm gonna have to fart eventually. It's just gonna happen, but I would much rather skip that. But it's like, when do you do that? Like, and when you do it, I guess when you can do that and not be so concerned about it, I guess you're at your most comfortable with that person. Married people, y'all let me know. They've been getting along so well that she feels herself falling in love with him, and she just could not hold it to herself anymore. She had to go express that to him. And when she was like so excited to tell him, he basically was like, okay. And that is not the answer she was looking for whatsoever. I don't think that he meant it like that. I think he's kind of like a monotone person. He's very analytical, nerdy type of guy. Just the way he talks in general doesn't read expressive. I get it, she falls fast, but it's only been 3 days, girl. He's not gonna be head over heels just yet. And I'm glad he was honest with her about that. Maybe next time he'll really like at least look a little like, yay, like a little excited for her, because you know they kind of like But anyway, but Noi, it's only been 3 days, and girl, we need to work on his employment status before we get into the love word. I'm concerned about that still. I didn't forget. Later on, when they're hanging with the other couples, they play the Never Have I Ever game, which is always messy. And it comes out that Steve has cheated on someone in the past. But Noi, why are you looking at him crazy when you've cheated on somebody in the past too? Turns out they were in their early 20s, and you know, it was back when they didn't really know what love was and didn't know the consequences. So as long as you learn from it and it's not a pattern, fine. Neither one of them have an issue with that. Regardless of how Steve reacted to Noi, I do think he expresses himself pretty well. I think she does too. They just have to get to know each other's love languages. Let's move on to Michael and Jasmina. Okay, we're coming off of them having their unnecessary argument. In that argument, I felt like Jasmina was kind of like just y'all could have really agreed to disagree and let that go. I feel like both of them took what each other's family said to heart. I feel like she took the negativity thing of what his sister says to heart, because that even comes up again in this honeymoon, and he took what her stepdaddy said to heart, that she likes to bully her boyfriends. And so I feel like now he's bullheaded, and he's gonna stand in his point even when he's dead wrong because of what the daddy said. So I feel like both of them, even though she is like looking at him like he's all in his head, I feel like in a way she is too. And so I feel like that was the perfect storm for what's going on right now, and I hate it. So they wake up the next morning, seemingly everything is okay, but he said he was up thinking about the argument and he feels like there's distance, and she agreed. He wants to connect, but he's not the most talkative person, and she was just not in the mood to talk about it. She felt like it was too early, and she thinks he's overthinking and he's going to ruin the experience if he continues to overthink. And I could agree with that. Like, we don't have to talk about this first thing, but I appreciate that he was being vulnerable and trying to give clarity to the situation. He even took responsibility for the distance and said he was going to try to put in an effort. And then she brought up what his sister said. I don't know. I can see where they're both coming from, but once again, I do feel like both of them are in their own head. Later on, she brought up his pessimism once again from what the sister said, and asked had it affected his past relationships. He said he's been single because he hadn't put 100% effort in those relationships, and he's overthinking because he doesn't want to do that again. And he's used to processing certain things on his own. Don't get me wrong, I like the fact that he's thinking about those things, because some people are very oblivious to things like that. But also, you overthinking can take you out of the situation instead of living in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because you're over contemplating every move you make. We get into the fact that he's lost many of his close family and friends. He said he tends to think the worst, so if the worst does happen, he won't be hurt. And she said, I could understand that point of view, especially dealing with all you dealt with, but you could also have the perspective or outlook that you could live life to the fullest and have no regrets. You know what I'm saying? And she's scared that his mentality will hold them back. And I'm just like, y'all are having all these deep conversations, and I see where she's coming from too, but I'm just like, until he's really exhibited that to you, I just don't understand why we're going over this. Like, you haven't even seen it in action just yet. Personally, I feel like this is a time where the experts should step in and facilitate these conversations, because I feel like for her it's always going to go negative, and for him, he already said he's thinking negative. So I don't see how these conversations are constructive. And then they had another frivolous argument that went too far. Okay, he's mad because he claims that she cut him off during a conversation that they were having with the group. Okay, I don't remember her cutting him off. And then when they even played back the clip, she for sure didn't cut him off. I mean, he paused and low-key asked a question in a way, and I feel like it felt like he was leaving it open for her to answer as well. So I'm really confused as to why he thought she cut him off. And she is too. And she told him that. He stubbornly doesn't agree and demanded that she gave him an apology. And she refuses because she knows that it didn't happen. This was a conversation that was had off camera, so we didn't see it. But she said he was coming at her very rude and aggressively, and she felt disrespected and completely turned off. She even said she didn't want to be in a marriage anymore. And I'm like, dang, I kind of wish we really would have saw the argument, but he ends up confirming the fact that other people have, like his family and past girlfriends have felt like he, comes off that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and take her word for it there. And if that were me, I probably would have been out of it too. I would have been really upset too. Disrespect is my number one deal breaker. I cannot deal with that. Okay, so if he came at her crazy, I don't blame her for being upset about that. So then they had another one-on-one dinner and tensions were high. Once again, he brought up the fact that she cut him off and she said, I'm sorry that you felt that way. And he feels like that's not a real apology. And under normal circumstances, I would agree that that's not a good apology, but I'm not apologizing for your distorted perception of reality. If that's not what really happened, that's the best apology I can give. I'm sorry you feel that way. Because what else do you want me to say? He ended up backing down. He said he will accept whatever apology going forward, and she does not believe him. She doesn't believe that he's sincere with that statement. And then she said that, you know, that wasn't even the main issue. You coming at me in an aggressive way was. And he ended up apologizing because it's not the first time that he's heard it. And I'm just like, how you gonna come at her aggressive off camera and then you all calm on camera? So y'all, I don't know. He said that he's gonna work on his delivery and things like that. And she looks like she's trying to get past it, but you could tell she's still bothered because who wouldn't be? I'm sorry, especially a man talking to a woman. You have to be careful with how you talk with us, because if you talk to us the wrong way one time, it's easy for us to see that as a red flag. Because low-key it is. So let's talk about Alyssa and Chris. Please send them home. Why are they still here? Why is Alyssa here? I mean, I said last week, I know this is not an elimination show, but Alyssa is not even giving y'all your money's worth. She's not playing the game. She's barely giving anything. She's treating this show like it's Love Island or, you know, one of those vapid, superficial shows. Girl, you can't hang out with your girls, okay? This is not that type of like, do you know why you're here? Did you read the fine print? But you know what? This is what you get when you choose superficial people like this, and when you mismatch people on purpose. This is a possible outcome. So this is what y'all get. So here she is, the perpetual victim. Why me? Why me? I'm a good person. Why me? Any sort of disagreement that she has with Chris, she automatically calls it disrespect. And that's just a very childish outlook. Like, and honestly, it's manipulative too, because you're just doing this trying to get out of saying what the truth is. And that truth is, you're just here for the free trip. You're here for the little 15 seconds of fame. Girl, I know this thing turned out the way you thought it would, because they lighten you up on Twitter. But that's what you're here for. And it's so apparent you're not good at hiding it. I feel like you could have gotten away with this a little bit better if you would have played along a little bit more. So they go paddleboarding. And, you know, he wasn't that good at it. He kept falling in, and she just kept laughing at him, you know, kind of like a condescending, like, I'm good at this, laughing at him and not encouraging him whatsoever. It was very annoying to watch. And then afterwards, they have a conversation about this whole thing, and she says she's upset because the experts didn't do this right. The experts didn't do this right. You're right, because if they did do it right, they wouldn't have chose you. And then she said a psychic told her that her husband would have pretty eyes and an eagle tattoo. Go get your money back, because clearly that ain't what it is. Why are you telling him this? You know what I'm saying? You don't even realize how rude and nasty you're being by even saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, your perception of this situation is so warped. I've already saw the after party from this week, and I'm going to go ahead and say that she thought Steve was supposed to be her husband. She lied in this clip and said an eagle, but really what the psychic told her was a lion tattoo, and Steve apparently has a lion tattoo. And when Noi found out, she was clearly like highly upset that she said that. And so she changed it to eagle tattoo in order to, you know, calm that whole situation down. But low key, I think she was trying to say that Steve was her husband. So later on, there was another activity and he wanted to go snorkeling, and she literally made him do that alone. She was inside talking trash about him, disgusted at the thought of being next to him. I didn't even want to be next to him. Ew, I don't want to be next to him. Ew. And you're literally leading him on by even being here. If you really are that disgusted by him, why are you here? Even her mom said she was being nasty and told her how difficult she was being. Trying to tell her, like, this is not going to come off good on television. And your mama was right. She was trying to help your little snooty behind. You should have listened. The thing is, Alyssa, if you're going to fake a relationship to be on TV, get a free trip, get a nice apartment, whatever, hang out with your girls, you have to play the role. That's what it comes to. You have to. You got the game messed up. That's why the producers are secretly recording you and putting all this behind the scenes footage out on you, exposing your trash behavior, because essentially you were not giving them what you were supposed to get. And you keep talking to producers acting like those are your friends. Girl, mind you, they got the camera behind their back recording you from this angle. That's how you know she didn't realize she was being recorded, because why the camera all the way down here? Why are we getting the angle from up your nose? I know she felt so betrayed and disrespected when she saw that. Let's get into Lindsey and Mark. So I pretty much knew they consummated their marriage when the camera caught them in the bed and they literally only had the covers on. And plus they had plenty of chemistry the entire time. So she told him that she wants to make pina coladas with him as an activity, and he suggests limiting how many they drank because he didn't want any repeats of day one, which tells me that she was drunk on that plane like I thought, and that she possibly drinks too much when she does drink. So after that activity, they talk about their past loves. She talks about how she dislikes engineers because every engineer she dated was a thief and was just like, she just gave too much and they were just taking too much. Okay. He talks about how he never found love until after college. Apparently his first love was an angry drunk, and she was very fickle about her love for him. Like, she would give it and then take it back. Then he fell for another woman during C19, and she had baby daddy issues, and basically he's a people pleaser and a cleanup man. I understand how he signed up for this show years ago and then came back and signed up for this show again, because he's lonely. He's clearly lonely and starved for love, and that was kind of sad. And then he started talking about how these types of women always come to him, and he doesn't realize that it's not them randomly finding you. You are also choosing these people, because I'm sure other women come your way, but these are people that you're choosing to be with. And it's important to notice the similarities in dating choices so you can make a change. But she loves the fact that he likes to care for people, and it's good until he's being taken advantage of. Later on, they all hang out as a group, and he expresses to the men that he really likes her, but he wasn't happy with her behavior on the plane, and it made him want to take a step back. And even his family told him that he would have to constantly reel her in, and this is like something he's looking at as a deal breaker. And I feel like the problem with Mark is he's not really a good communicator. He doesn't really express himself well. So he's telling her that he wants to have this romantic dinner with her, and him trying to express these feelings at a romantic dinner is just wrong place, wrong time, wrong verbiage, wrong, okay? Because he's sitting up here talking about he wants to slow things down, and it's like, y'all have consummated y'all's marriage, okay? She's all in at this point, and then you turn around and try to pull it back and say, but I want to go slow. No, sir. And also, what they didn't say on this episode, she said on the after party that she told him that she was falling for him, that she was, falling in love with him. And so for him to say that at the dinner, totally disrespectful. And she was justified in going off on him. I was not mad at her whatsoever. This is one time, Lindsey. Let it fly. Let the chopper sing, okay? She was like, well, if you want to pull back, if you want less, you need to stop farting in bed and clogging up the toilet. And that was so embarrassing. I could not believe she said that. He could not believe she said that. And he was basically like, see, this is what I was talking about. Da, da, da. It's like, Mark, you need to pull back on this when you was dead wrong. So she basically blew up on him, and, he decided to leave the hotel room because she was not trying to hear anything at that point. Like I said, I feel like that love word scared him, but you're married, so I just feel like he should not have reacted that way and said that at that dinner. He was dead wrong for that. So finally, let's talk about Olajuwon and Katina. They go to the gym, and Olajuwon is in straight trainer mode. He's doing the most, just pushing her too hard. I don't know. It's just like they were working out. He's like, stop laughing. Get real. Respect this. This is what I do. It's like, is he a trainer in real life? I could see if we were at your gym, like the one you work at, but we are at a hotel gym. Calm down, okay? We're on vacation. Get a life. She was a good sport, though, and she ended up telling him, you know, that it bothered her. And he said that he was testing her. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that to me. You were testing her? Why? The couples all end up hanging out. This is after their little blow up. Mark has apologized. Lindsey has DM'd Olajuwon and apologized. But when the women got together, the situation came up and Lindsey was once again playing the victim. Katina was like, we didn't even have to have this conversation again, but since you brought it up, okay? Because even after apologizing for the situation, you are trying to like make excuses for it, and it kind of eliminates the apology. You're not taking accountability for what you did. You started it. On the after party, she was like, it wasn't even Olajuwon that triggered her. It was Katina. But Katina was trying to tell her, like, you are saying, I want to fight. And you, historically speaking, you as a white woman saying that to a black man can ultimately put him in harm's way. So this is where she is going to step in. If you're even if you're talking to him, she is going to step in to defend him. And she also let her know, you need to go to therapy to learn how to cope with triggers, because that is on you. That is not anybody. Your triggers are not anyone else's problem but yours. So you as a grown woman need to learn how to cope with those triggers, and maybe you need therapy to help assist with that. And look, I'm not going to be gaslit. Obviously, if you have to be reprimanded by a flight attendant on the plane for being too drunk, then you're out of hand. Katina just wasn't going to let her slide and play the victim. So she told her what she had to say and, you know, exited the situation. And I feel like she handled it well. And then after she left, Jasmina basically told her the same thing, that you caused the situation by poking. Period. So then we get to the never have I ever portion of the conversation. For whatever reason, Olajuwon made the situation completely cringy by proudly confessing that he slept with a mother and daughter. Everyone was literally sitting there in shock. Like, why would you say that? Like, why are we really having this conversation right now? What are you doing? If I was Katina, I would be so embarrassed. Like, some things you could just keep to yourself. No, nobody needed to know that. Nobody needed to hear that. Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith and Will, like, we don't need to know all of that. Some things you can really keep to yourself. And even later on in the episode, he tells her that he wants to leave Isaac in the past. And I'm like, well, you need to leave the Isaac stories in the past as well. Okay? Because you seem like you were having fun reveling in them, and that's not cute. And then he brought up a threesome, because clearly he wants a green light. And Katina was like, no. And he was going around asking everybody, would you? This is not the show for that. Okay. They have to go to work on Monday. They have their families. Like, why are you asking this intrusive question? So later on, they have a romantic night. He told her that he deleted his Instagram. And I'm like, did you delete your Instagram for her, or did you delete your Instagram because you was using that Instagram to do dirt and you don't want her to look at your DMs and stuff like that? I don't know. Anyway, because it's a little, why are you deleting your Instagram? This entire time he was laying it on thick. And whether he's being sincere has remained to be seen. I don't know. She's all in though. She is falling, okay? Definitely falling head over heels for this man. He knows exactly what to say, but I just can't trust that it's genuine, y'all. I'm just like, girl, I hope for your sake, I hope that this is real, because something about, I still can't trust it. I still can't get behind it. I'm sorry. But y'all let me know how y'all feel down below. I would love to hear your opinion on what I said. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.